I finally settled in for a night of peace and solitude. However, I still have to check in during check-in time. Hopefully I can do like in and out, literally check in, be like, all right, I got a 24-hour, I'm out, okay? I also ran some errands. I was looking, but I ran some errands. I picked up my packages. Gotta open that up. I'll do that when I come back because I still got on the same thing. I've been out in the heat and it rained real hard, real quick. And I've been like sweaty, wet, and then sweaty again. So I'm gonna open that up after showering, and I got some Nair because I want to shave. And then I also stopped and got my purse. And then I went and put in my little bag. I went and got my ruffle socks, the ones that I haven't opened. Got those because I'm gonna go ahead and put on my, well, I just call them stiletto Crocs, but they Croc heels. What I'm planning on doing, so since I figured out the process of how a 24-hour works, I'm going to figure out how I'm going to make the show for Ken the Man next week. Because I still have to check in between the check-in time. Show starts at 10-ish. I wish, like, the check-in, I feel like, come on, I got 24 hours. But I guess it's for plenty of reasons, right? Plenty of reasons. They have their reasons. So I'm gonna just go ahead and get that done with now because it's like 6:30 and it's like, may as well. So the vacation's over, just like that. However, it wasn't in vain. It was exactly what I needed. Not only did I sleep for the most part, but I slept comfortably. I got to fall asleep when I wanted to. I got to wake up when I wanted to. I got to shower alone without people coming in asking me questions about shit that ain't got shit to do with me. It was peaceful. However, so I bought a little costume and it didn't fit because I'm a fat bitch. So I'm gonna return it, and if they have a bigger size, I think I got the biggest size that they offer, which is what's an X large. But if they have a bigger size, I'm going to switch it for that one, for the bigger size, because I want it. Still planning for next week. And so yesterday, I didn't shake my legs, but I said I'm doing that for within the next 2 weeks whenever I go to the concert. That's the plan, is to go to the concert. But yesterday, I was out for a very long time. I did way too much shit, way too much. And of course, on that bus, everything takes 5 times as long than usual. I got me some insomnia cookies. Hey. And then I had some Subway. By the way, the job. So I went and had the quote unquote interview again at the job that I was hired at. And she gave me the okie doke. Well, right now, you're not what I'm looking for type of thing. I was like, I understand. It took all of, 5 minutes? She even had a pen and a pad as if she was going to write some shit down. She never did. Whatever. I guess you don't find out shit's a waste of time until you actually go through it. So I gotta figure out what to do with the rest of my life now. Until then, I'm gonna blow some bubbles. Ooh. Bitch, what? Oh my God. Is this what it's come to? You see what's going on? Should I shake it? I haven't even had it. Well, I mean, I've had it for a while, but not that long. Not to where it shouldn't work. You see. And this is exactly what's happened to my hopes and dreams. They look promising, but nothing happens when I pursue. Okay, let me get my shit and go. While I'm waiting on my ride, I forgot to tell you that yesterday that check-in was unnecessary but needed. So apparently the first time I did, I requested a 24-hour, I don't know what they call it, respite. I'm gonna just call it that. But the first time I requested a 24-hour respite, I missed it because I came back to the room after working like 6-7 hours that day. And I just slept. I slept for a good 5-6 hours after that. So I missed it. And I also missed the check-in. But I got up, like, let's say I got back at around 4 or 5. And then, yeah, I didn't wake back up and get up until about 10:30-ish. And then I went to the front desk and I was like, hello, like still sleepy, groggy in my robe. And I was like, hello, is there a plate? Because they give you plates if you work late. I was like, is there a plate for me because I worked today? And they were like, oh my God, like they recognized me. And they were like, oh my God, we put you down as a no check-in. I was like, well, I actually had a 24-hour respite today. So I didn't know that I had to check in for those. And they were like, yes, you do. You still have to check in even though you have a 24-hour pass. I was like, okay, well, I missed it because I literally fell asleep right after work and I didn't wake up until just now. They were like, okay, and they marked me down. They were like, yes, we can hand you some food, hand you a food plate. Then I requested this 24-hour pass for a respite. And I asked one of the front desks just to double check. Like when I went back to my room to grab my bag, I was like, do I have to check in? And he was like, yes, you do have to check in at least before 8:30. Before, the check-in period ends. I was like, okay. So I actually arrived about 3 minutes late at like 8:33. And I was checking in and the lady there was like, she had a bit of an attitude, but that's how people are. People have very rude attitudes when they think less of you. That's how people are. Anyways, I came up, pulled up, walked in to check in. I was like, hi, I have a 24-hour pass, but I'm here to check in. I was told that I still have to check in. And she was like, check in for what? Where'd you get a pass? When'd you get a pass? I was like, well, I asked for it last week and I was told, why did I run out of effing space? I deleted a few things and I only got a little bit of space, so I'm gonna make this quick. So she was angsty about me coming to check in for my 24-hour pass. Like I was doing what I was told I needed to do. Okay, I'm trying to follow the rules. I'm trying to do the right effing thing. And then she couldn't find me in the system. Apparently we shouldn't have to or don't have to, and I was doing what I was told, sweetheart. Okay, that's it. That's all. And she couldn't find me, nor could the other girl. So I immediately showed them the email from my case manager. And then the girl that I initially checked in with was like, can I forward this to myself? I was like, I'll do it. So I pressed the button to forward the email to her. And I was like, did you get it? She was like, yes, I got it. You're good. Go on ahead. Enjoy your night. I was like, okay, thank you. But like, apparently I don't have to if I have a 24-hour pass. But it definitely turned out to be beneficial for me to pull up and check in because no one had sent in that information to the front desk. And I would have been SOL had I shown up today and they were like, why didn't you check in last night? If I didn't check in, I would have been like, because I had a 24-hour pass. What are you talking about? And then would have been a whole thing and all that. So smart of me to actually do that. Okay. Let me get the F up out of here. I got about 20 minutes before it's checkout time, official checkout time, and it's taking my ride a little bit longer because I chose the 15-minute wait period to save like 56 cents. It's worth it, baby.